Hey guys, welcome back to the Pizza Story podcast. Today I have a really special guest. It's Hugo from the Short Road Pizza Co. So thank you so much for joining.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having
I'm
me
good.
again.
How are you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Apologies for the noise. I'm at the pizzeria, so I couldn't get any more real than this, to be honest. So
No, we want the noise. We like the movement of the pizzeria and we definitely want to see people. So it's not a problem at all. I'm just really glad that you
nice,
joined. I'm
nice.
so interested in your story because I know that we messaged back and forth a little bit on Instagram. And I want you to tell me, how Short Road Pizza Co. started and just everything about how you got into pizza.
Well, it all started in my family. So my granddad was a pizza chef growing up. So my mom grew up in restaurants. So I think the fact that the fact that I was just like, you know, I was born in this made me always want to play with food. So growing up, I've always been in the kitchen, helping out my mom or my grandma or my granddad, and I think that's how it started. Like the restaurant started in the late '60s, early '70s through to the late '80s. My granddad restaurant, and he won a Michelin star in the '70s. So we're very proud of like Nonna's journey through Italy. It started in Napoli, moved up to north of Italy, where I was born in Liguria. So growing up, I didn't do food. I worked with food, but in a different from a different angle. I've always worked with food from a creative perspective as an art director and as a creative, as a designer. Let's say as an artist, let's put it that way. But like
Hmm.
food has always been just a passion. And obviously, the conversation with the family kept on going, and the recipe kept on passing through. And until when lockdown hit, like many other people and all around the world, we started having a bit more time. And me and my wife moved to a new neighborhood in East London, Leytonstone. And we moved to this. We bought an apartment in a road called Short Road, and me and my wife found it quite uh, not boring, but let's say, it was quite challenging to just like, keep busy, and work was pretty quiet. And so we just kept on trying to come up with ideas. And at the time, I was working as a creative, and work wasn't so busy. So me and my wife, after an inspiring meeting I've had with a friend who's practices Buddhism, she said she was encouraging her neighbors by sending little letters through their boxes, and I thought it was very sweet that like she, as a good neighbor, wanted to check in on them. And I wanted to do something similar, and uh, and I decided to come up with a fake pizzeria and like create one of those flyers that you get through the letterbox. I get Domino's flyers, you know what I mean? And I had a nice pizza oven set up in the garden. I was kind of like pretty much ready to go for some sort of like house uh, dinner, like small catering purposes. So I was kind of set up. And so I've decided, my wife is an amazing illustrator, so she designed the logo at the time. And the fact that we're both creatives and like I have that food passion really worked in a great synergy. So the flyer was really lovely. It had a nice logo that says Short Road Pizza on the front, and at the back there was a little blurb with the story. It said, "This is Ugo. My granddad's a pizza chef. I moved into the neighborhood. I don't know you guys, but if you want pizza, next Sunday I'm going to bake some pizzas. So if you want pizza, just email this address." So we were like, let's see how many emails we get. We posted through all the letters. It was like, proper lockdown days. We were wearing gloves even to post the letters through the boxes. It was very like safe. And then next day we get about 25 orders for the following Sunday. And we
Wow.
realized that the whole road was game. They were keen. And it was really sweet and like got us really excited. I'm a bit scared because obviously I didn't know whether I was able to deliver. And the good thing for in multiple ways was that all the profits were going to a food bank. So it was all completely community and charity based. So in that way, I was kind of safe, just in case the pizza wasn't good. It was for a good cause. So
Yeah.
it kind of helped me really experiment and play around and like improve. So yeah, the first Sunday was amazing. Again, like I can't stress this enough. this project is a community project, and within a couple of weeks, the whole street got together, like, within the social distances measures, and we all became friends. Like, our neighbor across the road, Sally, is pretty much my wife's best friend now, and like everyone else gets on, and like our neighbor Simon, we had New Year's Eve together, and Amy as well, across the road, is good friends with us. We've essentially created a fantastic network of humans through pizza. And I think that's
Wow.
the beautiful story of short road pizza. And that was a kind of a lockdown thing. Then obviously nearby, the streets nearby were like, can we have some short road pizza? The Instagram started growing. We started having fun with like creative on Instagram because obviously it's a job, but also my wife's amazing at drawing. So the whole synergy between us two kept on growing, and the page kept on growing, and the, let's call it, hype kept on growing, and the demand for pizza. So we raised quite a lot of money. The nearby roads got involved until Delhi in our neighborhood asked us to take over their kitchen. And that's when we started like breaking through from a like a hospitality perspective. We were like, okay, we need to do more. And this is when, more or less at the same time, when our neighbor Jack joined us. I just got a DM from this chef. His name's Jack. He said, "Look, I've got the same oven. I'd love to bake with you. What if I bring the oven to the garden so we make a double power kitchen?" Because I only
Wow.
had a small oven. So when Jack joined, we were faster, better, more organized. Jack is not just an amazing person, but he's also very good with numbers because he comes from a finance background. So he helped us, pushing through after the raise, when we started like becoming a little bit more of a business. Jack was a vital part of this, and still is at the moment, as a friend of the brand. And so after the Delhi's takeover, we were becoming more of a brand and a pizzeria. And that's when lockdown eased and our jobs became a little bit busier. And I decided to go, you know what, hang on a minute, I don't belong to hospitality. I feel like an imposter. And I had a lot of like doubts on like, what do I do with this? Because it was very successful. There was a lot of demand. Everyone was asking, when are you going to open a pizzeria? But maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe I was a little bit scared, because you do have to be a little bit crazy to start something like this properly. And I
Yeah.
wasn't crazy enough at the time, I suppose, until last year, 2024. The owner of an amazing pub in Bethnal Green called the Three Colds Tavern reached out to me saying, "We had your pizza during lockdown. We're also from Leytonstone, near Short Road, the neighborhood where I started this. Can we have some of your pizza in our pub? Like, quite literally, do you want to take our kitchen?" And I was like, all right, am I going to open a pizzeria in East London? Hell no. I'm going to get on a call with them and see what they need, but most importantly, tell them the truth. And they were really sweet. They were like a really nice couple, and they were like, "You'll figure it out." And eventually, I put together a proposal. I was like, you know what? I will figure it out. It's bigger than I thought. The pub is very big, but I can do it. And that's how I decided to make a proposal. They accepted it. And since October 31st, we've been trading. We've fully opened the pizzeria. It's in partnership with this amazing pub. So it's like a great way to start for me, because the pub was already here. Amazing clients were already here. We just had to keep it going, keep it alive, and keep it stimulating, and bring new ideas. Obviously, bring good pizza, and then bring the vibes and alongside the pizza. And that's what pretty much we did. Like in the past few months, it's been a fantastic journey. Like we've had a lot of guests coming over to cook with us, which is the thing I enjoy the most. Inviting chefs over, cook with them, kept experimenting with flavors, and from pizzas, but also beyond pizza, small plates, desserts. I just had a lot of fun with like running it. And now here I am. I feel I am now part of the hospitality world. I was crazy enough to start it, and now I don't regret it. When I look back, I'm like, this is good. I'm happy. I love how things are going, and I'm just excited for what's next. And as I said, like one of my dreams is to keep collaborating with people. I do want to, like, my biggest dream is to fly an American chef from Chicago called Professor Pizza, who has inspired me to do a dough style called Tavern style, which we do on Tuesdays. And I really like the man. And like we've been chatting on Instagram, and my goal is to be, for the business to be profitable enough to fly him over, have him over, and like, just have a night with him. Amongst any others, but like that's kind of like my wildest one because he's never been to Italy, and I'm just really excited to sort of show him around and be the first one to have him over to promote tavern style. Um, um, uh,
That's an
yeah,
incredible story.
yeah, I feel like I've kind of given you like I don't know how long this was. Probably let's see. I don't know. It didn't say maybe 8 minutes. But I think like that's kind of in a nutshell what happened. And I didn't go into detail on how our dough is and how our you know style is. But I think you got the poetry. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
No, I love the story. I love the collaborations. I love how it all came together. I did want you to talk a little bit about your menu and the kind of food that you serve because
Of
I know a
course.
lot of my audience knows I love talking about food and
Yeah.
let's get into what you make.
Yeah. So like my granddad always made Napolitan style pizza because he
Mhm.
is actually Sicilian, but like grew up in Napoli, and actually his wife family was a proper pizzeria uh, legacy. So him and his wife were a power couple for real in the restaurant. They were amazing. They were like hosting, cooking. Like my grandma's cooking was insane, like so good. Like from not just pizza, like literally anything. Like
Mhm.
from uh, baking, like a quiche called gâteau, which is one of my favorites. It's like a potato quiche with salami and cheese, to meatballs, to like literally all sorts of pasta. The cooking was insane, and the the style of pizza is Neapolitan, and that's what I have started doing during lockdown. Because I had an oven, one of those rock box ovens that made it feel right for the device I was using. But like eventually, the more I was chatting with my granddad, he was like, also, remembering all the time we went out dining with my granddad, what he's always asked for to the chef was a crispy pizza. And the way he used to do it was at the end of service, once the family was sitting down, or unwinding, the service was over, the flame of the wood fired oven was lower. So he would cook the pizza on the mouth of the oven. What he used to say, a bocco forno in Neapolitan, on the mouth of the oven. In that way, you manage to achieve crispier, slower bake, closer to the American style. Let's say American style, not to go in detail like New York or just let's call it American, because there's so many, even within like the London scene, there's so many like New Haven, New York, Chicago. There's like a lot. So I'm just gonna say American just to describe the slower bake. In Italy, Napolitan style is like 90-second, really hot, dun dun dun, and it's out. So this bocca forno pizza is more crunchy and crispy. And I was like, when I got the kitchen at the Three Cols, my first experience as a pizzeria, I was like, I really want to bring that to life because in the meanwhile, my granddad passed away between COVID and us opening. And like, almost as an homage, also I much prefer the crispier pizza, the thinner crust. And that
Mhm.
kind of led naturally to a different dough that we evolved, but never sort of forgetting where we started. So the hydration is still quite high. And the flour we started using is still an Italian zero flour. We're now experimenting with other types of flour. But the sort of dough uses a biga process, which is also very Neapolitan. So there's a lot of like Italian uh, mannerism in the making, but there is something different in the baking. So the dough itself is quite Italian, let's say, but the way we stretch it is very like Roman in the sense that we don't build a puffy, pillowy crust. We
Mhm.
flat it all down to create almost a little air pocket. And this kind of like way of flattening the pizza makes it feel quite thin crust, like and then
Mhm.
like can't quite think of like a reference in America, but I suppose like yes, that kind of New Haven has got a little bit lower crust, or I suppose obviously tavern style, but that's a whole different dough. And so this thin and crispy felt like the right thing to do because in London a lot of people are doing American style pizza. American style pizza is having a full renaissance in London. Like Neapolitan pizza is kind of on the way out, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So the crispy pizza is where it's at here. A lot of cool friends and pizza makers are doing this style of pizza. So I just wanted to do my own version of it. not just to follow the trend, because I honestly, just I as explained it, it's always been in the family, and I honestly like it. I like a thinner base. I like a crispier pizza. So it
Yeah.
just feels very authentic. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like I'm just trying to do what everyone else is doing, and we're trying to do it our own way, regardless. And I honestly think no one is ever going to do the same pizza as anyone else, because everyone will have their recipe, everyone will have their way of doing it, their style, their flair. And I think for me, cooking pizza is about the pizza, but it's also about how you top it, the type of ingredients you use, the suppliers you've got. Weirdly, is the greaseproof paper you use, is how you elevate it, is how you serve it. It's the visuals. The taste is very important, it's the most important, but it's also, for me as a marketing person, pizza or food doesn't just come with the product, it comes with everything else. And that's what I think I'm stronger at in terms of branding it and selling it and like having fun with it. That's why my wife has been very helpful. That's why my expertise as a creative has come in very handy. So I think, the whole mix, I guess it makes me a very unusual pizzaiolo because I'm not a pizzaiolo. I'm a creative director in advertising that's turned to pizzaiolo, but with a heritage and a credibility. So it's a very kind of peculiar story. That's why I was keen to chat to you, because I'm sure that, you know, it's a bit unique, I guess.
Yeah, it's so unique. I mean, I will tell you, in my family's pizzeria, my grandfather, he's from Abruzzo, Italy, opened up a
Oh,
pizzeria in
nice.
1960. And my family doesn't come from a marketing background, but I have a marketing background. So
Oh,
putting
there you go.
together with my family, because I'm a creative, my husband is a creative, we've managed to do something, somewhat similar. So I really resonate with your story just because the branding and the creative behind it is really so much of it.
Hmm. And that's what I think, that's what people comes back for, the parties we throw, the innovation we bring with like different events and different
Yeah.
specials and different storytelling. That's what keeps people coming back. If you're
Yeah.
stuck with the same menu over and over and over, people will eventually get bored of it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Now, what is your favorite pizza?
Well, you mean the flavor or like pizza place, pizza to eat or like pizza
Yeah,
to
pizza
make?
to eat.
My favorite pizza to eat? Well, look, like a margarita with parmesan is what my granddad always ordered, and that's what I learned to appreciate. So when I go out eating, I always order a margarita or a marinara. So that's like, definitely margarita. It's where you can appreciate the pizza. But then this doesn't mean I'll stop there. I'll normally go with my wife and she'll order something different so I can try something different. But I tell you what, like pepperoni as a concept that never crossed my mind as an Italian, but since I went to sort of like, I love New York. I go to New York a lot, and I started like warming to the idea of like working with an interesting cured meat, and like pepperoni as a product is helping me getting that Italian American flair on my menu, because I'll have a lot of like traditional Italian pizzas like the marinara, the quattro formaggi, or the margherita, or the mortadella, but the pepperoni pizza helps the brand cross that bridge of Italian American sort of flavors. And finding the right pepperoni is also very important. We work with an amazing brand that comes from Hungary, and so the product's very good. But yes, like the answer to your question is definitely margarita. Although I appreciate lots of flavors and like to experiment.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what does the future look like for Short Road Pizza?
Well, we've just started working with a PR partner who's exciting, and this is just new. We haven't even announced it, so we're gonna try and structure what the mess is in my brain into a more of a plan of action, because I want to keep doing collaboration. I want to keep the relationship with this amazing pod, but definitely by the end of this year, I'd love to explore possibility of opening a new site. But it's just, at the moment, I want to do well here. I want to do well at home, which is the Three Cold Tavern, and that's where uh, we are blossoming. So that's my focus, is making this work. And if things keep going the way they're going, the dream would be to open another site, either collaborate with someone, but like, the growth is in the pipeline, but it's not an immediate rush. We don't have any investment. We don't have like a big corporate, dinosaur you know, pushing money into the. There's none of that. It's super independent. It's just me. My wife's kind of on the side, uh, helping massively on the branding, and I've got lots of friends that I can support him. But we are super family run in the sense that there's no investment. So I couldn't, just open another pizzeria tomorrow anyway. But it's not the dream and keep that as a pipeline dream for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how do people find you guys?
Um, so people find us via just sometimes just like coming down. It's like a very kind of popular area. So obviously Instagram is the number one platform to drive attention and like footfall. But there is also a lot of locals like around here in Bethnal Green, East London. There are a lot of like students. There are a lot of like university teachers or doctors. There's a hospital nearby, so there's like a real mix of locals and people that travel for pizza. I just had over for lunch a friend, fellow pizza chef, uh, has a pizzeria up the road, and he just came came down for pizza, and then he's now going to open his shop. And this is why I'm here, the hospitality of it, and like meeting these people that find us, and like sit with them, talk them through the menu. Like my chef partner that helped me launch this place, Riccardo, he's got an amazing company called House of Demo in Sardinia. He's the one that really, really helped me mastering the dough. He's like a proper pizzaiolo, like with the capital P. He came and like started this pizza place with me. And when Ricky was here, he was like, "You're amazing in the kitchen. You're good fun, but when you're out there telling the story, you're even better." So he's kind of like, I don't know whether there was a way for him to say, "Just get out of the kitchen, mate. Just go and talk to people." But whatever that meant, I think he's right. And my strength is to go and introduce the brand to people and be out and about. And like I'll always be doing the baking. I'll always be finding the recipes. But the strength of Short Road is the staff, and it's the people that keep it going. It's the pace they go. It's the skills they have. I'm a home chef. You come over, I can make amazing pizzas for you, your husband, and your kids. But if I make 200 pizzas on a Saturday, no chance. You have to have a good staff. So without a good team, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be going and wouldn't be, here having a coffee with you, chatting to you whilst during service. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense. I understand that.
mm,
Well, thank you so much, Igo, for being on my podcast.
no
I love what
pleasure.
you're doing. It's incredible. Guys, please go follow them on Instagram. It's at Short Road Pizza on Instagram. And I wish you guys the best of luck in the future. And if I am ever in the area, believe me, my husband and I will
Yeah.
be coming
You
in
have
to
to
see
come
you.
visit.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on your podcast. And yeah, really look forward to see what comes from it and all your next guests. And yeah, best of luck with everything.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. Ciao, Erika.
Ciao.